Hey guys, welcome back to the Trevor May Baseball channel. Trying something new today. I don't know if you guys have seen in the news recently, Major League Baseball's Unwritten Rules and the different sides that everyone's always taking on both of them. So being the sometimes trolly internet person that I am, I tweeted, I think there should be more unwritten rules because frankly, most people think all unwritten rules should be thrown out the window and everyone should basically just be able to do and say and feel and react any way they want at any given time. For the most part, I agree with a lot of that stuff. Sometimes I don't. But along with this tweet came something a little bit unintentional. Fans started making up their own unwritten rules, and I chose a handful of my favorites. I would love to show you them right here in this video. Firstly, Bring Denoise says, if a player has an identical twin and that twin is allowed, then that twin is allowed to secretly sub in for them. Like that one episode of Sister. This one made me chuckle simply because I actually know one half of an identical twin pair that plays in the major leagues. They would be the most likely to do this. That's Taylor Rogers, and his brother Tyler plays on the San Francisco Giants. But the funny thing is, one of them's left-handed, kind of a low 3/4 flamethrower, and the other one's a submarine, low 80s, upward slider guy, right-handed. So seeing them sub in, I think we'd figure it out pretty quickly. But if I recall correctly, I believe this is something that they tried to pull on their parents when they were young. So seeing it happen, or at least just seeing them play against each other and throw on each other's jersey and just not be able to tell them apart, that would be pretty cool. From Tim Ryder, we have Tommy Hunter gets groove pitches every time he comes to the plate for the rest of his career, if only for his reactions. I think if the MLB were really serious about growing baseball and growing the fan base, this should be at the top of the list. Tommy Hunter is one of the highest energy guys I've ever had the pleasure playing with, and when he got the hit the other day, the joy on his face was definitely contagious, and the dugout felt it. I felt it out in the pen, or I felt it in the dugout. I was actually in the clubhouse at the time. But if we could just throw him heaters right down the middle every chance he gets to hit for the rest of his career, I'm all for it, and I think all fans would be. This one's actually horrendous, and I'm actually offended that it exists, but the pitcher must, all caps must, step on the line when walking on and off the field. Superstitions are a form of black magic, and magic is unfair. I don't know who that is unfair to, but I do know that I'm never touching the line. First of all, the ground crew slaved away for hours getting these beautiful chalk lines put in. Two, you just don't do it. I have no explanation for why you don't do it. You just do not do it. So I'm gonna keep jumping over that line. It's a nice quirky thing about baseball that I don't think we should get rid of. Sue me. This one's pretty dang good. So it's accompanying a picture. You can probably see it right here, hopefully. Ignore all the water bottles in the background, thank you. If you're up by 10 runs, you can use one of these instead of a baseball bat, but you have to ride it around the bases. One of those little horse heads on a stick. That'd be pretty cool. We should do that. Yeah. And honestly, anything that makes hitting the ball a little bit harder, I'm for. Noel Gray, if it's that weird time of day with like a 5 p.m. start, I believe you're looking for a 4 p.m. I think 4 p.m.s are the weirdest starts, especially like in the early part of the year with the sun. The game should be paused while the shadows make their way between the mound and home plate. And it's super disrespectful to hit a pop fly during twilight. Yes, anytime that weather or time of day might inhibit the ability to field, just, everyone just go get a Capri Sun and some apple or some orange slices, and maybe some baby carrots and one of those little ranch dipping cups. Take a load off, chat about your weekends. Though we don't even have weekends in baseball, like we don't even know what day it is. It's Saturday today. It might as well be Tuesday. I have no idea. Yeah, just hang out and wait till those annoying, the sun peeking through a doorway that's up on the concourse just in your face when you're pitching. Any of those times are over. I'm all for it, man. Great job, Noel. Next up, we have pitcher specific. If it's 0-2, the pitcher should have to walk the batter because it's disrespectful to expect him to be able to hit in that count. Now, speaking for myself, 0-2, I do a pretty good job of throwing a ball 0-2. So where we go from there is anyone's guess. But I was told when I was young, giving up 0-2 hits is the worst thing you could possibly do in the whole wide world. So I was just absolutely not going to give up an 0-2 hit ever. I know this is poking fun at the idea that you can't swing 3-0, but you know what? To each his own. I get it. 0-2, can't throw a strike. 3-0, you can't swing. That seems about right. From Josh L. If a pitcher walks a batter, he is to actually walk him from home to first to make sure he gets there safely. Elbow, hand, elbow, gently guide your new friend to first to make sure that there's no pebbles or rocks or anything that'll cause an injury on the way as well. I feel like that's just good sportsmanship and general like good sense and just being nice. Why can't people just be nice? Like go above and beyond, right? Have a look out for the other team. You know, I don't know. I'm a nice guy. I can do that. Wasn't gonna do it last night though. It's not an ad. Though, if you're interested, I'm interested. Next up, we have John Winan. John Winan said, and shout out to John, I see you on my Twitter feed constantly, and you always have pretty good takes. So, a manager is ejected from the game when the team gets behind 7 runs or more. Imagine that there was extra incentive to keep the game close, or else you're ejected. I can only imagine what bullpen use would look like at that point. But solid choice, and anytime we add stuff like Hunger Games style, you know, like if these people do this thing, then it affects you. Anything like that, where someone gets a little bit more skin in the game and make sure that like something needs to happen in order to preserve themselves. Anytime you can add any of that kind of stuff, magic happens, right? This is from Heather. To show league unity, every time a batter hits a home run, and the defensive baseman have to give them a high five and say congratulations as they round to the bases. I don't remember what year this was, but it had to be, early 2010s. Man, I'm old. The Netherlands Little League team was getting absolutely pounded every day, every game. They were getting 10 run, and they had such good sportsmanship that like their pitchers would give up a homer, and they gave up a lot of them, and they'd like run over and give the high five at home plate, and the first baseman would like give them thumbs up, and like they're just getting killed, but they're still like, hey, nice hit, nice play. There's something wholesome about that, especially when they're kids. I obviously MLB is a little different, but I wouldn't mind seeing that every once in a while. I'll give them a little bit like, wow, great job, bud. And everyone's like, incredible. But I think MLB does a good job of especially when someone does something real special, both teams give them deference. It's pretty sweet. That's something unique about our sport, I think so. But if we took it to everyone says congrats, almost as if like when it's someone's birthday, you're beholden to say happy birthday. We're gonna say congratulations. Why not? Parsnip Turnip, awesome name. Congratulations on that. If you reach first place on drop third strike, you have to eat a batting glove. But the batting glove cannot be your own. So you just rip the batting glove out of the back pocket of the first baseman and just start crushing it. Is leather bad for you? And lastly, and I think probably the most effective, from Nate W, he says, an unwritten rule should be that you aren't allowed to win a game against the Mets. Why not? Let's just book it right now. Let's just say, hey, unfortunately, got the Mets coming in town, so that's just forfeit. You can flip a coin, but both sides are going to be for the Mets. Whatever you want to do to give the perceived idea that you have a chance, and then just book it. I'm cool with that too. I don't see why not. It seems flawless. Twitter is awesome, and I'm fired up that so many people kind of get my drift when I tweet things like this. Fans got jokes. Fans always got jokes. It's always fun to find my favorites and share them with you. But before we conclude this video, I wanted to really quickly touch on the 3-0 swing. A lot of you don't know, but Tony La Russa and Yermin Mercedes from the White Sox hit a 3-0 home run off a position player up 10 runs. Swung 3-0 was the issue. It is actually, I think I saw this stat on ESPN or MLB that it was the first 3-0 pitch swung at up 10 runs in like 20 years. That's crazy. Thinking about that, like 500 at bats, that's insane. I need people to have context when we think about these types of unwritten rules. In my opinion, you draw lines at, is something done selfishly or something done to win the game? And obviously you could say everything's done to win the game and whatever, and the perception of the other team could be completely different of what the intention of the actual person doing the thing had. So there's going to always be separation there. We have lots of unwritten rules in baseball that you have no idea about, fans don't know about. veteran guys, when we used to wear suits on the plane, veteran guys would buy a suit for the young guys. The guy with the least service time in the bullpen carrying the baseball bag as a rite of passage, like the bullpen bag out to the bullpen, and you get something goofy like a Hello Kitty backpack or whatever. That's an unwritten rule. The jumping over the line is an unwritten rule. There's all kinds of things that kind of govern our way of life because we're together and we need to be a family. The same way that you have kind of rules in your family that other people might not have. And sometimes those rules govern on-field play a little bit too. The vast majority of the time, not swinging the 3-0 pitch, and hitters will tell you this, is actually the better baseball play, and that's why it's not done very much. Or that's why it's generally a smart play, because someone might be giving you a free base or giving you a free run even, and you trying to make something happen and get out, which happens most of the time, is actually hurts your team more than it helps. So we're getting a lot of these examples where like hindsight's 2020 and something good happened. And so therefore every situation that should be done. And that's just not the case. But that said, this specific one, there's a lot of outrage here and a lot of positions being taken. I think people have different perspectives on why they take their positions that are valid. I don't think it's that big of a deal, but I'm also not on either one of those teams. That's what it comes down to a lot of times. Sometimes it's a spark plug to like get fired up. It's something to grab onto Michael Jordan style and see as a slight to get your team fired up to win a game. And that sounds like weird, but that's kind of where a lot of these things happen, is an unwritten rule getting broken will light a fire under a team. And sometimes that's a huge value too. So it's really interesting, the context behind a lot of these things. And I try to take full context in and decide how I feel one way or the other based on the situation, and not just a blanket statement about the general unwritten rule unbroken. So getting rid of unwritten rules is not going to happen. It's not a thing that needs to happen, but some things need to be adjusted over time. And having that conversation is what we're doing now. So just another way to think about it. That's what I like to try to add to the conversation. But shout out to everyone who commented on the tweet and gave me some content for this video. You guys came up with some fire unwritten rules, and who knows, man, maybe we'll replace these old ones with new ones, and within the spirit of making the game more fun and more fun to watch and more fun to engage with and a little bit more modern. I'm all for that, man. Show some emotion, do some stuff. And if guys take exception sometimes and not exception other times, that's just the world we're going to live in. And we're going to keep having the conversation and reacting the way that we need to react. Change is good. Change isn't always a bad thing. You know, I'm excited to see where this game continues to go, because baseball is my passion, my love, and I love playing it every day. Guys, if you like the video or you have ideas for reaction videos or vlogs that I do in the future, subscribe, obviously. Hit me with the thumbs up button, but also leave a comment below. Let me know what you think. Be honest. I will do my best to set up some cool stuff for you guys to watch in the future. I'll see you next time on Trevor May Baseball YouTube channel. Thanks, guys.